This is the LEGO Speed Champions Too Fast Too Furious Nissan Skyline GTR R34 76917, released in 2023. It originally released on January the 1st, I think, for around 35 bucks, but the set didn't come out until now in New Zealand. If I had bought this back in January, I probably would have been looking at a couple of $100s for this thing. Part of why I think this thing is so successful is because this is the continuation of Speed Champions adapting licensed themes. Who would have thought that we'd be getting a Fast and Furious car with minifigures, let alone two of them? The set, of course, features Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker in the franchise. This one specifically apparently is based on Too Fast Too Furious. LEGO Speed Champions has been one of my favorite themes since its existence. I started collecting them around 2016 or 17ish, and when they improved the designs by making the cars bigger, that only made the series that much better. Now if they're doing licensed things, it's probably going to creep up to be one of my all-time favorites. I know nothing about vehicles and cars, but I do love cars being built for a LEGO city. They're very stylish and they use some really cool unique build parts, so I really love buying these little vehicles. Something that's not super appreciated always are the stickers. This one has significantly less sticker designs than other Speed Champions cars, which is a surprise. Down here you can see that there are some annoying parts that have to be stickered on in very irritating areas. It can be pretty awkward to get to, and my alignment isn't perfect. Once you get those stickers aligned in other areas, it does make for a really cool design. This section of the design here is a print, so that is not something that you have to worry about for stickers. Some of the Speed Champion sets sometimes give you additional stickers for different license plates. Because this one's based on a movie, I suspect is the reason why we just get the one license plate. Similar details on the other sides there as well. As with other Speed Champion sets, the roof is the only way that you can access the driver's seat. Here we can see Brian O'Connor. If we pull him out. Removing Brian from the driver's seat, we can see that the chair is just one of those single pieces. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but they don't really do actual chairs in any of these Speed Champions line. You can see that he has some pretty cool sticker designs there for his little, it's like a motherboard. He has little engines here that are to signify the NOS. It's that really cool shiny metallic kind of build. You can lift up that little back area to show that there's a little bit of room. I'm not sure if it looks like if a person could sit in there. I've just thrown the wrench in there for now. It almost looks like someone could possibly fit. But simple testing proves that's not entirely true. They only can't fit because of that part there. But I'm sure if you were to remove it and make a couple of modifications, you could probably try and squeeze someone in there. This is the Brian minifigure with a supposed likeness on Paul Walker. He's got a pretty simple t-shirt design, which I actually do appreciate now that I'm trying to make some custom figures, with that really cool sleeveless look that is actually quite rare amongst some figures. Basic, I don't know what you'd call those, just blue, very, very light blue color jeans, and he has blonde hair that I think might resemble him. I'm not too sure. Based on his look specifically with the second film at least. The face likeness, I'm not too sure if that captures Paul Walker's likeness or not, but that might just be because I'm more familiar with the later movies. The more recent ones are the ones that are more embedded in my memory than the first earlier ones. I think I appreciate the fact that these Speed Champions figures are giving us movie likeness characters, but they're not really capturing the likeness all that well. So like I said, more of an appreciation of the fact that we're actually getting one, and so I don't have to make my own one. And here he is paired up with Dominic Toretto, who they don't appear on screen together in the second movie, but they are the two titular characters from the movies, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker's minifigure. It's really cool actually that we have these two figures. They shouldn't exist in LEGO, but I'm really glad that they do. I never show off the box designs of any of the sets that I talk about because I don't really care for the boxes, but for those who do, you can see that the Nissan Skyline is there on the streets with some side art as well of the same car. A view up top as well as the 1:1 scale of the wheel. But on the back of the box it does have a little reference image of what the vehicle looks like in the movie, as well as a shot of what the inside of the car looks like. And for those who are into the instructions, unfortunately the instructions are that weird basic little pre-rendered image. Sometimes they look off, sometimes they look fine. Again, I'm super indifferent about the instructions, but on the back we can see that I have left the sticker sheet there, as well as an advertisement reminding you that they do currently have another Fast and Furious car and a 007 James Bond vehicle, and a couple of other extras. With the release of a new Fast and Furious LEGO Speed Champions car, I wanted to try and see if we could build the rest of the team. Some of the Fast and Furious actors have already actually appeared as LEGO minifigures before, just in roles outside of Fast and Furious. I thought it would be funny if we could try and grab those guys together and show you what their likenesses resemble. So because I have this set, that obviously means that I have the Brian minifigure, so that is the first figure that builds up our Fast and Furious little collection here. I also happen to have the Dodge Charger set, which came with the Dominic Toretto. This was the first set that released before this one. I don't currently have the car built, you just have to take my word on that. Moving on to the extra people included in other sets. Most recently, the Avatar line released thanks to Disney's acquisition of Fox, and we got a couple of really cool Avatar sets I really loved. You should watch my reviews about them. One of the figures that was included in those sets is Michelle Rodriguez's character featured in the RDA Samsung set. In the Fast and Furious movies, she plays Letty, the wife or partner at least to Dominic Toretto. She's featured across most of those movies, in fact, actually. And I think that figure actually works really well for that little line now. These next figures are going to require some creative liberties, just bear with. Most notably, Gal Gadot was featured in the Fast and Furious movies. She was actually in quite a few of those movies. The only minifigure that I have of her is Wonder Woman, which means we get to throw Wonder Woman into the mix of Fast and Furious people. Sung Kang is a real cool guy who's featured in a good handful of these Fast and Furious movies, actually. So I was really excited and surprised to see that he also has a Lego minifigure of himself. Here he is as the fifth brother from Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're gonna get some Star Wars people up in this little Fast and Furious mix. He can go right there. Speaking of Star Wars, I needed to Google this for some verification, but apparently Gina Carano was in these movies. She was in the 6th movie, plays Agent Riley. I don't know. I've only seen it once. I don't remember this, but she does fight Michelle Rodriguez at one point, so it's only fitting that we get her Cara Dune figure and add her to the little mixture as well. So I do have a couple of absences, but these are the ones that I have. This is the Fast and Furious crew, most of the actors adapted into Lego. We have a pretty decent variety across different themes here. Dwayne Johnson is a pretty notable character from the movies. Yep, character.
Daddy's gotta go to work.
He also voices Maui in Moana, which received a big fig at the time and is in a set that I do not have. The only Lego likeness that he's ever received, actually. Luke Evans plays the villain Shaw in the franchise. He's only in a handful of the entries, I believe. He plays Bard the Bowman in The Hobbit, so here is the minifigure of him. Another figure that I do not have. It always pays to research this because only in editing have I found these last two. I found that Laz Alonso plays someone in the 4th movie, Fast and Furious. I recently talked about Mother's Milk in my Avatar videos. He appears as a Sute minifigure. Michael Rooker also appeared in the series at one point. He has a Yondu minifigure from the Guardians of the Galaxy line. And I think that is everybody. While doing this, I was surprised to realize that Dwayne Johnson doesn't have just a regular minifigure just yet, but I guess that's because we could have potentially had Lego done a Black Adam set, but maybe there'll be something later on down the line in the future. If you enjoyed this, then liking and subscribing would help supporting the channel. As always, take care.